Jeff Heuerman from Ohio State, third-round draft pick. What does this mean? What are they going to do at tight end? Do they go out and get somebody else? If they do, who's out there? What are your feelings about what they do at tight end right now?
They go get somebody else. You need somebody in camp, and you've got, as we talked about last week, you have 90 players. They've added a couple of years ago, made it from 80 to 90. You got to get somebody. And there are a couple of guys. I went through the list of
Available
free
players,
agents,
yeah.
and I had honestly forgotten that Jacob Tamme had signed with Atlanta, and then it reminded me very quickly that he had. But Jermaine Gresham had a back injury last year. Very good tight end. You know that Vernon Davis was reinstated by the NFL. You know who signed him? Did you see that news?
Vernon Davis?
Not Vernon Davis.
Fred Davis.
Fred Davis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Vernon Davis wasn't.
Yeah, I'm saying if he was available, the Broncos should have gone after him.
Fred Davis, whose career was winding down with Washington.
Yes.
He was reinstated based on traffic accidents and drug problems. And guess who signed him? Let me try it again.
Was it Miami? I know somebody down south signed him. Can't
New
remember
England
who it was.
Patriots.
Oh, that's right.
Way down south.
Way down south. One of the southern New England states.
I just thought it's odd. You know, it's the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots that seem to be in charge in this league of reclamation projects.
Yeah, they're never afraid of bringing in a
Fred
guy
Davis,
like that.
you know, the Patriots lost one tight end to what? 80 years in prison? So they could use a tight end. But I wouldn't have picked him here. But Grisham has a back injury. He's recovering from back injury.
As a matter, he had a herniated disc, and he just had surgery in March.
Yeah.
So a month and a half, 2 months ago.
He's not a guy you're really going to get in during the summer, but he is the best available tight end out there that's still a free agent, and there are only 2 or 3 of them. The other is Zach Miller. Zach Miller was with the Seahawks and played in the last couple of Super Bowls. The problem was he only started 3 games last year. He's not that old. He's only 27,
29.
He was making
and he had an ankle problem last
year. He was making over $3 million with bonuses. But in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks did not target their tight end once.
Nope.
So he wasn't a major part of that offense. Those are the 2 guys available that really people have heard of. There were 3 or 4 guys that I hadn't heard of that were backup tight ends other places. But I think it would be good. They've got Virgil Green, who they're going to play. They brought in Owen Daniels. Those would be the 2 main tight ends.
Let me read you the depth chart.
And they got James Casey.
They list Virgil Green and Owen Daniels as starters. James Casey. Heuerman was 4th on the depth chart. Again, third round. Remember, third-round picks. Teams will tell you, anybody they take in the first, second, or third round, they expect to contribute, if not start, in their first year. Those are very high draft picks.
I did a draft grade thing twice, and again like 3 or 4 days ago, and there were a lot of people that gave the Broncos better grades in the Bs. That's where they were, B minus, but they gave them better grades than they normally would have for Shane Ray, and 2, Heuerman. That he was a guy that they felt had been underutilized at Ohio State and was going to develop into quality tight end in the NFL, and that would be there when Owen Daniels moves on or is moved on.
Yeah. So, Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison have both said they expected Heuerman to contribute this year. He was going to be in the rotation, if nothing else, special teams.
Now he's down.
It's a fairly big blow. And I do believe they need to go out and get somebody. Although behind Heuerman on the depth chart is my favorite player.
Is that Joe Don?
Joe Don Duncan. We're going to see Joe Don Duncan.
He and James Casey are fullbacks in the system.
Yeah.
So did someone say with the Broncos the other day they didn't even know who Joe Don, whatever his name was? Didn't we have someone here that went, I've never heard of him?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
It was one of the players. I don't know that guy.
Kayvon Webster.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to know much about that guy. I still think it'd be helpful to them if they could find somebody floating around, an undrafted free agent. Did they sign one? I don't think they signed a tight end.
I don't think they know. They signed 9 undrafted free agents, but no tight ends.
Because they passed up on Max Williams. They had a chance to draft him out of Minnesota. There were the kid I liked that was out of Florida. I'm still thinking that's a bad mistake.
There's one other kid. You're talking about Max Garcia?
No.
The center?
No, I'm talking about tight end. Max Garcia is versatile. He can play all three positions on the line, but I don't think he's a tight end.
No, he's not.
What they'll do, and here's what we're going to get the bounce back on, is they'll use one of their tackles as a tight end.
Could be.
As
And
a
there
blocking
is one
pattern.
other guy on the depth chart who was in the locker room last year, Dominique Jones. So they've kept him around, which means they think he can
Oh, he's still
contribute.
there?
He's still there. Yeah. Yeah.
He came on.
right.
He came on for the last couple of games of the year. I think he was on the practice squad
Yeah.
and maybe suited up for one game.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Nothing
first segment
threat.
brought to you by the Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park. Very nice, private, 45-acre mountain campus. They are insurance friendly, so if you feel the need or you know somebody who might need, go to harmonyfoundationinc.com.